Hello everyone! Welcome back to Styla Studio Dolls. It feels like it's been a long time since I've posted, when in reality it's only been a week. But the last time I posted, I had posted 7 videos in 7 days for AG Fashion Week. And what a week. It was so much fun. Now I've taken a week, I've caught up on some sleep and some chores around my house. Everything is tip-top, and I'm thrilled to be back now to share this video with you. It's called A Designer Tribute by Styla Studio Dolls, Part 2. One of my favorite things to do every spring and fall is to get online and see what the big name designers are up to when they release their fall and spring lines. And this year, when I was researching spring lines, I decided it would be a lot of fun to make some designer looks in miniature style for my dolls. So I actually have created 6 outfits that were inspired by spring fashions. And these are the designers that I was inspired by: Dior, Oscar de la Renta, Carolina Herrera, Valentino Garavani, Prabal Gurung, and Bronx and Banco. So in my last video, I showed you 3 of the dresses that I made inspired by these designers. And in this video, I'm going to show you the other 3. So I'll start off by talking a little bit about the designers, and then I'll show you each of my designs and give you a chance to guess which designer they were inspired by. And then, of course, I will reveal the designer looks that inspired me. So one more thing I have to throw in before we jump in is that these looks are from these designers' ready-to-wear collections. These are not runway pieces. All right, so first up, these are some pieces available this spring from Dior. And Dior is classic elegance. Everything is always pristine, the tailoring is immaculate, and you just can't beat Dior. It's always a hit. Next up is Oscar de la Renta, and there is a big variety of different styles in this collection this spring, but I was most inspired by the florals. I love these dresses. They're so beautiful and feminine. I love this little butterfly dress in the middle, and I was definitely inspired by the florals. Next up is Carolina Herrera, and the parts of her collection that I was most inspired by are these playful little dresses. She's got bows, she's got oversized flowers, she's got polka dots, and it's all so whimsical and feminine, and I love that when I'm designing for my dolls. Another designer that really impacted me this spring was Valentino Garavani. And I love these looks because they all make me think of unique vintage pieces. And I just love that about them. They're all so special in their construction and their design, and I just really appreciate that. Prabal Gurung is another designer that really drew my attention this spring. He has so much variety within his collection. There's really something for everyone, and they're all so beautiful and so well designed, well thought out. But one of the things that really drew me this year was the embroidery in some of his pieces, like the one here featured in the middle. And last but certainly not least is Bronx and Banco. This designer has some of the most beautiful little dresses. Any woman would be happy to throw on one of these little dresses, and there's such a great variety of different styles, and it definitely made me want to design for my dolls. So these are your 6 options when you're trying to guess who I was inspired by. Keep in mind that the actual garments by each designer that inspired me are not featured in these photos because my dresses are miniature versions of theirs, so it would make the guessing game way too easy, but I will reveal the designer pieces to you after I've shown you my garments. So first, We have look 4 because, as I mentioned before, looks 1 through 3 were featured in my last video. So this is look 4. It's worn by Jenny. She's a Truly Me number 117, and she's wearing a little navy blue dress that I made. It's an A-line style dress with short sleeves, and it has 2 layers of trim, which was not easy on this scale, I must say. And it's accented with 3 buttons in the center front, and she's wearing the dress with navy blue American Girl loafers. So, which of these designers do you think I was inspired by to make that dress? I'll give you a couple seconds to decide. If you guessed Valentino Garavani, you are correct. Here is the dress that I recreated, and I think this is such a beautiful little dress. Again, it has sort of a vintage feel, and I think it's just timeless, and I was really excited to do it on a doll scale, and I learned a lot while creating this dress that I will use moving forward. Look number 5 is worn here by Rapunzel, and she's wearing a strapless dress with a pleated skirt. And this entire dress, other than the light blue part that you see on the top, is painted by me. And the top of it was sewn on my sewing machine, but the rest of it was hand stitched because I used a medium with the paint so that I could use it on fabric and it wouldn't crack. But I was very reluctant to run that fabric through my machine with all that paint on it. I was not going to risk my sewing machine, so I hand stitched this. So technically this is mostly couture, and it's definitely one of a kind. This dress has so much paint on it that it can literally stand on its own. And though you can't see them, she is wearing the white Mary Janes from Mary Ellen's Pretty Pink Dress by American Girl. All right, so once again, which designer do you think inspired this dress? If you said Oscar de la Renta, you are correct. So here is the dress that I attempted to recreate, and obviously my painting leaves something to be desired, but keep in mind that I was working here with some cotton and some acrylic paint, and I like to think that it's sort of the cartoon version of the real thing. Obviously, it's a lot more childish and not as beautiful or elegant, but overall, I'm proud of my effort here. I think I did pretty well considering my limitations. And just as a little FYI, this skirt can be puffed out more if you put sort of a crinoline or slip underneath it. I prefer it the other way, but I thought I'd show you that this is also an option with this look. Look number 6 is worn by Moana, and she's wearing a little crepe back satin dress that I used on the matte side, so it's not shiny. And she's wearing a dress with a wide neckline and an A-line skirt. I painted the design on the dress, and she's wearing it with some silver sparkly flats. Once again, here are your options. Which designer do you think inspired this look? If you said Prabal Gurung, you are correct. Of the 6 dresses that I created, this is the only one that is not a miniaturized version of an actual dress. For this dress, I was inspired by a sweater, and it has this beautiful embroidery on it. I just thought it was so lovely, and I wanted to try to recreate it. So obviously in my version, it's painted, but I think I've captured the essence of the embroidery, and I'm really happy with how this came out. I wanted to keep the actual design of the dress simple because I really wanted the branch detail to be the star of the outfit. So I am so excited to hear what you think of these 3 looks. Here are the girls together. Please let me know which one is your favorite. And if your favorite is in the last video, that's fine. I would love to know that too. Or anything else you want to tell me. I love reading your comments. Coming up soon in my next video, I will be sharing with you my AG Fashion Week 2025 recap. And as I promised throughout Fashion Week, I am working on tallying up all your votes for your favorite outfits. I shared 48 outfits during Fashion Week, including dozens of new items that I made for my dolls. So I can't wait to compile that list and see what everyone's favorites are, and I hope that's interesting for some of you as well. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. I'm still catching up on some of my comments from Fashion Week, so if I haven't responded to yours, please know that they are important to me and I will get to them very soon. As always, I hope your dolls are making you smile each and every day. Until next time, friends, take care.